Hello one and all, it's me, Dr. Stone, Chapter 163, Multi-Front Final Battle, and, I guess, girlfriend acquired? Senku got himself a girlfriend. Good for him, I guess. I mean, I definitely had some issues with Luna when she first showed up. I found her annoying and irritating, but she's definitely shown her worth this chapter, as she just marvels everything Senku's managed to build for himself and his team after waking up alone and just starting completely from scratch. And she finally realizes, oh, okay, so Senku is the smarty pants science guy I was sent here to kill. You know, it's about time to put it all together, but it's good for her. I mean, she definitely loses her cool a little bit when she finds out that she needs to stick Senku with a giant needle to drain the blood from his lungs, but I feel like that would rattle anyone. And I do just love that Senku has to explain the medical procedure, basically to everyone, including her. Okay, so you need to find out why my lungs are bleeding. If it's because of this, you need to do that, because that, you do that. And we need to find some people with AB blood, which, you know, just utterly confuses Jinro. I am kind of curious, though, if Senku and his team have managed to create a way to test a person's blood type in the Stone Age. I mean, I don't think it's all that complicated. I really just don't know what the process is behind it. Otherwise, they have to rely on the modern agers, and really, how many people know their blood type off the top of their head? I certainly don't, and I've spent a very, very, very long time in hospitals. And Senku's line here, I just absolutely love. Luna, I know you're the enemy, but you're all I've got. I'm not sure if that's a line of faith and confidence, or if it's just desperation right there. Either way, it feels like he's trying to reassure her. Then when she asks for something in exchange, he's like, oh, obviously you're going to ask me to do a total surrender and offer up myself to Xeno, but I just can't do that. And, you know, then she asks if he'll be her boyfriend, and he freaks out. But he really shouldn't be. But seriously, let's look at the facts here. He is a very capable man in the Stone Age, who's able to make ice cream with a drop of a hat, having never made it before, and can basically build anything. Plus, she's watched him as he continues to work, as he continues to explain and instruct the people, while his lungs are bleeding. His determination and diligence is terrifying. He is quite a catch. Any girl would be lucky to have him. And just going back to how he's still ordering his people around. Oh, Lord, I do just absolutely love Francois explaining how she realizes there is no way in the world they can stop Senku from working, so she's going to make it a little easier on him by passing the orders from him to his soldiers and back and forth, so he doesn't have to move or get up or do anything besides that. Oh, I just freaking love Francois. Anyway, then we flash back over to Kohaku's team, and Taiju's big plan is to have Carlos drop the plan for Xeno's fortress so that they can break in without accidentally ending up in the barracks. And surprise, surprise, he says no, because apparently Taiju forgot that they're enemies. Oh, but then they get a signal from back on the ship as good old Luna's giving out orders. Oh, I love it. Ukyo and Carlos, they both look like their souls were literally just ripped from their bodies. Kind of confused about Carlos's reaction here. I mean, he goes from crying, saying no, no, to saying, okay, situation's changed. Max and I would go to hell and back for Miss Luna. We're allies to the bitter end, as he builds a very, very elaborate diagram of Xeno's base. And just two things that really interest me here. First off, that is a very impressive diagram. Is Carlos like a trained architect or something? Because if so, that could definitely be his role on Senku's team, helping them build bigger buildings. That's not really something they've put any real effort into as far as I can tell. I mean, they have just basically huts up to this point, but having a real architect to help them build, real buildings, that would certainly be useful and certainly be worthy of him continuing on with them moving forward. I do just also have to point out everyone else's reaction to all this. Taiju. Good old Taiju. He's the best friend in the world. He's like, Senku has a girlfriend? Good for him. I'm so happy for him. No idea what's going on, but he's just happy for his friend. I love that. Chrome is very, very confused. And Kohaku, I was expecting something different from her. I expected her to be annoyed, a little catty, maybe a little jealous. No, she seems more amused than anything else. I mean, I do think it's safe to say that she does have some interest in Senku, so maybe she's confident that Luna won't be able to win him over, or maybe she's just aware that Senku doesn't really take dating all that seriously. I'm not sure about that, very curious. I mean, she has the whole strong, confident woman thing going on, so I guess she really doesn't have all that much to fear from Luna. Anyway, then flashing back over to Jen, he managed to sneak in a freaking radio receiver. Oh, I love it, so that he can secretly listen to Senku and his team talking back and forth. And of course, because it's Jen, he's easily able to figure out that they're using the Sugi cipher. So good for him. I'm very curious. I really want to see if he reacts at all to learning that Senku has a girlfriend now. I'm curious about that. I'm sure he'd have a really good laugh about all that, but maybe he'll be able to send a signal back to them about the ultimate death weapon they've built. Still not sure what it is, but it's going to be ready the day after tomorrow, so that's bad. My guess is that it's still Rocket, that they're going to send some sleep gas or whatever to take out Senku's team. Maybe it's like a blimp or a zeppelin that can float over to them and drop something like that. I'm not sure about that. I guess the regular old plane would do better. Not sure. Anyway, then Luna and Francois are having a nice heart-to-heart about Senku, and I really just have to wonder, who is looking after Senku now? His assistant and his doctor are both on a drinking break. What's happening with him? Is he okay? Very, very curious about that. Anyway, then Luna's starting to worry that dating doesn't really mean anything to Senku, and he would just say it to, get whatever he wants. But then he's like, no, he's not that kind of guy, right? And everyone looks away from her. And then in an absolute betrayal of Senku's trust, Kinro decides to fill in Luna that Senku actually got married and divorced just to fill his own selfish ambitions. So, yeah, she's probably lost a lot of faith in her boyfriend. Anyway, then Yo spots Stanley's plane, and it looks like it's time for battle. And I have 2 questions about this page. First off, we see Jinro is holding a vial. That could just be regular water. That's probably what they're drinking in, but it's also the same vial they use for revival fluid. So is there a chance they're waking someone up? They're reviving someone? What's going on with that? Is there something else that we're not aware of here? Some side-up plan, some backup thing that we're not being told of? It's definitely a crazy theory, but this author has certainly shown time and time again that he's willing to hide very important details in the corners of pages. And secondly, is this Stanley? That might seem like an obvious question. Of course, Stanley flies a plane, that's Stanley's mask, Stanley's outfit, it's all Stanley, but can we say that with 100% accuracy? There are a lot of soldiers that are with Stanley. Any one of them could have the ability to fly a plane, all to throw Senku's team off to think, okay, the sniper is in the plane, so we're fine. Meanwhile, the actual Stanley is in the woods somewhere with a sniper rifle planning to take them out. Might not be the case, but I just want to throw that out there. Anyway, then we actually see the aircraft carrier they built, and sweet mother of God, that's actually an aircraft carrier that looks like a legit aircraft carrier you'd see today. Once again, their manufacturing skills never cease to amaze me. So yeah, now they have everything they need to take off and fight Stanley. Though I just have one little itty-bitty more question. Why is Senku in the plane? You can see the dark circles under his eyes. He clearly has not recovered all the way. He's clearly still very, very ill. He was shot like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, whatever. He should not be in the middle of a dogfight, midair, with guns flying around him. A lot of people online are speculating, okay, they need Senku to be here for some reason, do some calculations to figure something out. Maybe he has certain weapons that can only be used by him because he's the only one who can do the calculations, but yeah, either way, that feels like a very, very bad idea. Even if Senku wasn't shot, he's not the type of person who can survive a plane crash. I know Kaku is busy, with her own thing, but she would be much more useful to have on this plane. She has the eyes of a freaking god, and she moves well enough where she would have no problem escaping the plane before it crashes. Hopefully they have parachutes. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, next chapter, dogfight plane versus plane, and I'm actually still thinking the whole plane thing is a distraction, either to lure them away from the actual super weapon they're planning on using, or because Stanley isn't actually in the plane, he's elsewhere carrying a sniper rifle. Both good possibilities. I feel like we aren't going to see the title next chapter until maybe the last page, or maybe they'll just completely skip it next week and then bring it back the week after, just to have next week just be the dogfight in the air and some more information on how they improved the plane, how they built the runway, and all that. How much Senku has improved, I'm not sure about that. Oh, and just one other thing I really wanted to mention, I forgot about this earlier, Carlos. Okay, situation's changed. Max and I will go to hell and back for Miss Luna. We're her allies to the bitter end. How? Why? I assumed you know, Carlos and Max, they were in love with Luna. They want to date her, and that's why they were sticking to her so much. But this dedication, after she already has a boyfriend, feels way, way different. Like they owe her, like they owe their life to Luna. Like somehow she saved them. They were dying, starving in the street, and she gave them jobs, put a roof over their heads, paid for their family's surgery so they wouldn't die. Something like that. I've had so many questions about these three ever since they first came out, and I really just want to know how Luna inspired such absolute loyalty in them. I mean, don't forget, the only reason these three survived petrification for thousands of years was because they were focused on Luna, being able to protect her, being able to make sure she gets a boyfriend and lives a happy life like she always wanted to. So, yeah, hopefully we get a flashback eventually explaining what's up with that. And like I said, maybe Carlos was an architect. That's the reason he's so good at drawing. That's just my theory I'm throwing out there now. So yeah, let me all this down below. What's everyone doing? Jen has a receiver, but can he send out a signal? Can he warn them of whatever it is they have built, whatever they have planned? Not sure about that. Kawaku's team's building a tunnel. They're going to be able to break into the underground chamber and maybe sabotage a doomsday weapon. If that's the case, I can only see us not seeing the tunneling team for 2 or 3 chapters. Like this whole dogfight setup and the secret weapon, and they're about to launch. They're like, wait a minute, why is it not working? And they realize that Kawaku's team actually already managed to break in and break the weapon before they had a chance to. I could definitely see it happening. But yeah, let me think all this down below. Be sure to like, subscribe to the next video. And yeah, about that. Moving forward, my release for these videos is going to be a little more erratic. I've started classes again. I'm back in college, getting my doctorate. Woo! Woo! And that's going to take up probably a bit of my time. So yeah, I'm still going to try and get my Dr. Stone, my Hair Academia videos up every week. But they might be a little later. It's more than likely they're going to start releasing on Tuesdays instead of Mondays. Heck, maybe even Wednesdays if I have a particularly busy week. But I'm still going to try and keep this going. I'm very proud of this channel. Finally managed to reach 1,000 subscribers. I'm so happy about that. So ecstatic. So I'm definitely not giving up anytime soon. But things are definitely going to be a little crazier. And you should certainly expect delays. I'm sorry about that. I'm going to keep trying my best. So until next time.
Peace.